I call this story, Where Is It? And here's why. In 2010, my company brought in a bunch of consultants to help accelerate our lean transformation across the company. Now, I had been doing Kaizen events and lean events for many years, and the consultants recognized that. So they would pair up with me and help me understand how to run the most complex of Kaizen events to drive the greatest breakthroughs possible. The most extreme Kaizen event that they taught me was production preparation process, or 3P. And this approach, which was invented by a gentleman named Chihiro Nakao, was designed to create extreme breakthrough around either new product or new process using a technique of building in the moment called moonshining. So we used it to create new products, new processes, new layouts. And I will tell you, in the early years of using that with the consultants and without them, we were making breakthroughs, but I really didn't understand all the steps of the process. And I had a hard time explaining not only what we needed to do, but why we needed to do it. I also realized I was probably shortcutting some steps. So after about 3 years of applying this technique in various areas of the company, I convinced my manager to go to a seminar that was being held by the inventors of this approach. I said, if I can't learn it from the masters, I'll never learn it the way I really need to truly help teams create those breakthroughs. So he agreed, and I took a colleague along with me, and essentially 3 teams were going to be competing against each other using this technique at an office furniture manufacturer. And our goal and our task for the week was to not only design a brand new chair back that was going to be produced to the world, but we also had to come up with a way to manufacture it all in that same week. Kind of mind-blowing to try to do that in a week. So the consultants that met us at the airport essentially controlled all our movements from the airport to the hotel to the factory, during the session the whole week, and then to dinner that night and back to the hotel. I used that time to really try to get a deeper understanding of not only how this approach worked, but why it worked. What were they thinking as they created the approach? The other thing I learned about these consultants was they were extremely direct and forward, and they really had little patience for not only questions, but people that pushed back on anything that they wanted you to do. This was an 11-step method, so let me illustrate an example of that. One day in one of the steps during this workshop, our team that was working on that chair back was sitting at a table kind of arguing a little bit about how we were going to solve the next step in the problem to develop the chair back. I would say no more than a minute to a minute and a half elapsed when the person that was coaching us, our sensei, walked up and said, "Stop arguing about this at a table. Go to Gemba where the work is done and find your answer there. Go find it." And being the respectful team member that I am, I stood up, red-faced, and said, "I don't even know what it is. How do I know how to find it?" He looked at me sternly and said, "You'll find it." So again, as any respectful person would do, I got up and walked out in a huff. And I was determined to show him that I wouldn't be able to find it out on the factory floor in Gemba. So for about 20 minutes, my mind was kind of racing. I was highly stressed and pretty angry, probably at me more than at him for not understanding what he meant by that. And I started walking around the factory, not really knowing what I was looking for. But about 20 minutes in, my mind started to relax and it started to open a little bit. And all of a sudden I realized what he was telling me to do. I was looking at the factory, building similar things to the chair back we were trying to produce. And all of a sudden I saw ideas that led to potential solutions. So I took some more time in Gemba. I started to realize and understand, and I now had ideas to bring back to the team. And that led us to our solution. So what did I learn? The answer is not at a table arguing with team members. The answer is out in the factory floor where the work is done. The answer is in Gemba. The other thing I learned was don't shortcut any steps. Every step matters. There's reason, they're connected. And the only way to do that and learn it is either from the masters or through tremendous amount of trial and error. The good news is I was able to bring that technique back to my company. And now I was able to help teams and truly understand what they were doing, why they were doing it, and deliver even greater breakthroughs as time wore on. I hope this story provided you with some inspiration to revisit your own processes. I have a lot more I'd like to share. Head over to pi-partners.com to learn how I can help. And check back from time to time for more Kaizen stories.